Let me just read 1 Peter 2, verse 9 and 10. What does it say? But you, Otieno, you, Kazungu, are a chosen generation. What else are you? A royal priesthood. What else? A holy nation. His own special people. You are a special people. That you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So man is a priest. Must remember he is a chosen generation. That means you will not behave like your grandfather. You will not behave like other man. Hey, I'm a man also. You are a man, but a saved man. Am I communicating? A lot of Christian men argue. You know, you are busy watching pornography. Say, but I'm a man. No, pornography is for evil men. But you are a Christian. He's saying you are a chosen man. So you can't do the things other men do, and you have no apologies about it. Because you have been chosen of Christ, you have accepted the choosing, so you must be a different man from other men. And you see, that's one of the books that the bishop was quoting. I've written a book called Christianity and Culture, where they are trying to get us men to know what the cultural man was like. But if you are born again, you cannot be like a Kikuyu man facing Mount Kenya, can you? And if you become like that, you lose Christ. He says, I'm a jealous God. My glory I will not share with anyone. So if you want to be covered by the God of Kirinyaga, go. Keep coming to church, but you are not going to heaven. Church, you are welcome, but you are not going to heaven. Because you can't be in both. The moment you participate in that Luya Makubusho. Ever heard of Makubusho? We quote it because we saw it when the vice president, the shadow was taken from London to Kitale. You remember it was in the newspaper? And you call yourself a Christian, you are participating in a Makubusho. In other words, a spiritual world where you can get the shadow to be tied to the man in the grave. As if you don't know, to be absent from the body is present with God. That means the bones in that grave are not your father's. They belong to the ants, and they are going to eat them. In about maybe 10 years, you'll not tell where the head was and the leg was. It's properly eaten. Because like the preachers normally say, soil back to the soil. But here you are doing Makubusho around the grave. It just tells you clearly, you don't know what it is to be a chosen generation. So if you're a priest, it will mean you accept that you cannot behave like the clansmen. In fact, the Bible says it's very dangerous to become a Christian. Because from there onwards, there will be trouble with it says the father and the son will not agree. Have you read that? The book of Matthew. That to become a Christian means you declare trouble with your parents. As long as they are not saved, their thinking, their philosophy, their beliefs will counter yours. You are called for a clan meeting. You go there, they tell you never to come again. Because you are spoiling their meeting. Am I right? But you know, some of you are seated here, and every year you are in those clan meetings. You never heard them because you never speak. Who do you expect will preach to your clansmen if you keep quiet? Are you really a chosen generation? What's the difference? Do you know, for some of you, your father recognizes your Christianity, so whenever they are doing something traditional, they say, but don't call Atieno. Oh, Otieno, no, don't call him. He is not. Your father is not saved, but he recognizes your salvation. Am I right? But some of you, in order to please your father, you do not want to be this chosen generation. A person chosen, separated from the people of the world. And sometimes it's more difficult. The other day I was rung by a young man who had a sickness, and he told me, when I told my parents I'm sick, they have told me to go back to Nyeri. I hope it is not your relative, so you don't know who I'm talking about. Because they want to sacrifice. I said, why? Because of my sickness. They think the reason I'm sick is because when I was getting circumcised, I did not seek permission and blessing of my uncle, my mother's brother. Kikuyus, you know what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm now sick. So they want to go, we take a chip to my uncle, we slaughter it, and now I'll get better. So I asked the young man on the phone, do you believe God is able to heal? Yes. How does he heal? In the name of your ancestors? No. In the name of Jesus Christ. Your parents, although they are Christians, have decided to mix. So they are going for a traditional way of answering prayer because they think Christ can't. But this kind of disease, only traditions can handle. So I told him, you have a choice to make. You are a chosen person. The requirements are clear, my son. You must honor your father and mother. But honoring is not obeying. Nothing in the scriptures require two adults to obey each other. Just check the whole. When it says obey, it starts with a prefix. Children, obey your parents. When it says adults, it's in the 10 Commandments. Honor your father and mother. And where the word honor was, even obedience was there. If God meant us to obey, he would have said, obey. Am I communicating? So I told the young man, you must speak so respectfully to your parents that they cannot accuse you of being rude. But the answer, whichever way you talk, finally the answer is, no, I am not coming on the weekend. I am in prayer and I'll trust God for my healing. So we are a chosen generation. Men, you cannot continue behaving like another Luya on your way to heaven. You see, the Luyas want to join the ancestors. You know, when you die as a Luya, you join the ancestors, isn't it? And you keep visiting at night as a ghost. But if you're a Christian, you don't join the ancestors, you join Christ. To be absent in the body, to be present, you don't become a ghost to be disturbing people at night. If you're a Luya, if you're a Luo, there will be no Chira. Everybody know Chira? Chira is the Luo word. I used to live in Western Kenya. Chira is the Luo word for a caste. So they say, you can't do that. If you do that, they'll disturb you at night. You are a chosen generation. And you need to understand, it can't be both. You cannot continue your traditions on your way to heaven. You must determine what is your destiny, ancestral spirits or Jesus Christ. If it is Jesus, please him. If ancestral spirits, do all the traditional requirements so that when you join them, they don't beat you up. You know the spirits. The Kikuyus have changed them from Goma. Now they are calling them Gomi. It's the same thing. They are still spirits. Gomi means the sleeping ones. But they don't quite sleep. They disturb people at night. Now, but we are a chosen generation. So if you want to be a priest, you must accept the choosing. And it can be quite serious. Because I am looking for a contract. I really am desperate because there's something I want to do. I really want that contract. Then you ask me to talk to you nicely. If I'm a chosen generation, I'll not talk to you nicely. I'll talk to you officially. Then I will not be awarded the tender. Am I right? And my people think there's something wrong with me. You are so close to the tender, and how could you refuse it? Because I want to go to heaven. And even if I win the tender, I'll still have to face my maker. I would rather meet him poor than rich on my way to hell. Am I communicating? Once you are a chosen generation, you will make decisions that your clan thinks you are going nuts. You will not be the first. Do you remember the relatives of Jesus came to take him because they thought he had gone? Now, do you remember that incident in the Bible? That's what we're talking about. You are a chosen generation means you will not behave like other men. You will not go in your office calling girls darling. Have you heard men who in the office they call their secretaries darling? You can be mistaken for wives. A Christian man is proudly married and wants everybody to know he is married and happy. You don't go to non-Christian women telling them, I wish I didn't marry this one. What are you saying? Come along. Take over from my wife. That careless talk cannot come out from the mouth of a man. Even if you quarreled at night because you married a lioness. Please understand, if you marry a lioness, it's because God knew you have ability to domesticate a lion. Am I communicating? And it will be very, very important that you understand that. You are a chosen generation. And my prayer is that the men who are here tonight will start asking, how am I like non-Christian men? In which areas? Where should I change as I live out? I live from this meeting. If you came to my Christian Union in 1968, and I used to lead choruses, we used to sing a very popular song. It's no longer very popular now. The things I used to do, I don't do them anymore. People who are over 50 should know the chorus. The things I used to do, I don't do them anymore. The things I used to do, I don't do them anymore. There is a great change since I've been born again. The place I used to go, the clothes I used to wear, the friends I used to have. Why? Great change since I've been born again. That's what it means to be a chosen generation. So if you are going to the same places, you are a member of Kiama, the Council of Elders of the Akalijins. So you are going to the same place. These are places where they do not pray in the name of Jesus. Or do the Kalijin elders pray in the name of Jesus? They have their system, isn't it? And they must deal with the ancestors. Because most of our religions, traditional religion, have to do with ancestral worship. Am I right? So you need to know that's what it means. So, and remember, habits are caught, not taught. So as your children watch what you are doing, how you are treating their grandfather, they start copying. But you can keep telling them how Christian you are, but habits are caught, not taught. They watch your life. Number 2, you are a royal priesthood. What does that mean? That you spend your time, number 1, and I'll come to it later, number 1, improving your relationship with God, because that's the first priority for a priest. You want to be at peace with God continuously, 24/7. You're not a Christian on Sunday. You are a Christian every day of the week. You are not a Christian during the family altar. You are a Christian 24 hours. So that's what it means to be fast, to be a priest. You yourself are talking to God continuously. You don't go talk to God just when you go to Katoroni. Even in your dinner table, you are still talking to God. Number 2, because you are a priest, once you have sorted out your issue, number 2, you are trying to do as much as possible to help your wife to know Christ and to get a better relationship with God. Remember, if she backslides, you are her pastor. The pastors in this church are secondary pastors. The primary pastor of a wife is the husband. You are the pastor. And you need to understand, as a pastor, you are doing anything and everything possible to help improve her relationship with God. Now, some of these men, every time we hear there is a conference, we go. Another one, we go. We are getting deeper and deeper in the things of God. And you're always still shallow. No wonder you can't pray together. It's very foolish for you to get deeper with a shallow partner and in the same bed. No, you need to understand it's your responsibility. If you are going for a Christian conference, take her along for your own risk, to cover your own risk. Because even if you get deep and she is shallow, you will come to the average, which is a little lower than deep. So it's important to understand, as a priest of the home, it's your responsibility to, when you hear there's a women conference, say, I'm paying. Sister, I'm paying. You must go for that. Because if she comes closer to the Lord, she will also be closer to you. When one of our best writers in the 1970s, when we were young people, I got married 44 years ago, 1979. So our 70s was the year we were reading these books. It was a guy called Walter Trubisky. Of course, he is long dead. He wrote I Loved a Girl. You know, they were very popular books. But he came up with a triangle. And he says the apex of the triangle, relationship between a man and a woman, he taught us, begins, it's not a relationship between 2 people. It's a relationship between 3. That's why ours is not a contract, it's a covenant. With God at the top, wife on one side, husband on the other side, Now that unit is what we call a Christian marriage. Then he told us, when you are far away from the apex, from God, the wife is the farthest away from the husband. Can you see that? Those who know how to draw a triangle? Does that make sense? The moment both of you start getting closer to God, you're also getting closer to one another. So it's in your interest to help your wife to get deeper in the things of God, because in the process, you have a better wife. Your relationship becomes better. That means to be a priest of your home. What are you doing to help your wife to be a better wife? And I told you I'm not ignoring the fact that she may be a lioness. But even a lioness can know God. Am I right? And the more she knows God, the less her nails can bite. Or is it her teeth? So help your wife to get deeper in the things of God. I don't like your Christianity. If you don't like it, what are you doing to improve it? That's what it means to be a priest. Number 3, your children. You are bringing it up in the fear of the Lord. And again, that's a whole subject we can get to. That's why we are called a royal priesthood. Out of this, there's a theology about it called the priesthood of all believers. That we in the Pentecostal churches do not believe our pastors are priests. Because we are all priests. That means if your wife is sick, you don't call the pastor. You yourself talk to God and you know he will hear. Although there are some Pentecostal churches that are starting to call their pastors priests. That means if your wife is sick, you take the phone to wake up the pastor as if you yourself are not a pastor. A priest. We are a royal priesthood. And that means you must learn to intervene. Ask for a miracle for your children and for your wife. And they know that heaven hears your prayers. And I think it will be very important. That's what it means to be a royal. Number 3, we are a holy nation. What does that mean? Holy means set apart. And that means we cannot, again, I'm repeating myself, you cannot be holy and mix yourself with the things of the world. Holy. Holiness. You know, when a pastor does something, we say, hiya. How can he do that? And he is a pastor. But you have now learned all men are priests. Did you hear that? So ask yourself, how can I do that and I'm pastor? Because you're the pastor of your own home. And it will be important that you check, are you really a holy part of the holy nation? Then it goes on to say, his own special people. I belong to God. You know, one of the last night, or maybe the previous day, I was speaking to a group about Christianity and culture. And I was telling them, we must understand what it means to be owned by God. Special people, owned by God. 3 things will follow when you understand as a man, you are owned by God. Number 1, you know that all your problems are his problems. You know, if you are owned by God, it means what concerns you concerns him. And that means even if you are in a deep problem, you don't feel like giving up. Why? You as a person cannot handle it, but you belong to somebody. Now, let me tell you something about slavery. And you are Christ's slave as a man. If you are a slave, you don't need a medical cover. Because if you are sick, who will suffer? When you can't go to work, whose work will suffer? Your work? Your owner's work. So it's in the interest of the owner of the slave to ensure he is medically fit. Am I communicating? So when a man belongs to Christ, then Christ is interested in his problems, because when he does not have those problems, he better serves Christ. Because he's a priest. Am I communicating? You are God's people. I don't belong to myself. I belong to Christ. So I can't do, sometimes you are busy beating up your son. Sometimes, how can you beat your son like that? He is mine. I can do with him whatever. No. If you are really a priest you and your son belong to God. And means you can't beat up your son as if he is yours. You know he is God's child. That's why you're also God's child. So when you say you are a people of God, the first thing is you understand whenever you have issues, God is involved in them. Number two, if you belong to God, it then means because you are owned by him, you will never retire from it. You know, slaves don't retire. Am I right? They just die and they are buried by the owner. If you belong to Christ, you intend to serve him all the days of your life. Thirdly, if you truly belong to God, you know that since your issues are his issues, you do not bring up children as your pension scheme. Because for you, your problems have a better one to take care of. You know, your sons may grow. Like now, Bishop and I, our children are out of home. If you are waiting for them to come, they might never know. Now, you need to understand, you are better off looked after by God, who never dies, never runs away. Am I right? Doesn't go to Australia. He is with you all the time. So when you talk about you are God's person, you do not use your children like a pension. See, you help them, not so that they help you, but so that you honor God. Am I communicating? And if the moment the children realize that you are helping them, not as an investment, but because you love them, even when you are retired and old, they will treat you as a friend. And it's important to understand, if you belong to God, do not make yourself somebody else's responsibility. The same thing in your place of work. Don't let the HR manager think that without him you can't exist. You know very well that even if he fired you, where God got this one, he can get other jobs. Am I right? Many Christians do not stand their ground as Christians because they fear, how would I pay my children's school fees? How? I know which side my bread is buttered. Now, when you realize you are God's person, you put all your future into his hand. And so if he says he wants to fire you, don't cause him to fire you, but do your best not to be fired. But you know very well, even if he fires you, God will give you another source of income. Do you believe that? That's how you're able to say no to people, irrespective of how powerful they are, because you know you belong to God. And all that is happening so that man as a priest will proclaim the praises of him who called you. You are chosen people means you are chosen by somebody. So your life as a man, as you relate with your family, as you relate in your workplace, as you relate with your clients, must reflect Christ. You must proclaim the praises of him who called you. Number one, verbally. Don't be those people who keep saying they will see through my actions. Proclamation is verb also. So you must verbalize it. Number two, you must act in line with your proclamation so that there is no contradiction. Ever heard of the saying, your actions are speaking so loud, I can't hear what you are saying. So because the actions are contradicting your words. So you need to understand that if you are proclaiming, it will be verbal, but the actions will also amplify the words. Because you know he called you out of darkness and he has put you into his marvelous light. My prayer is tonight, you'll ask yourself, am I somebody doing that? So several questions and I finish. Number one, are you proclaiming God's message? Let me ask you the question. What is your ministry? At home and out of home. In church and out of church. Some of you say, I'm in the choir. I'm in ministry. But you are a choir. It's only 10 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes. If you are in the singing team, maybe half an hour. Half an hour for a whole week. Is that what you call ministry? You know, the Bible tells us when we come together, one has a song, one has a hymn. We minister to one. So when I ask you your ministry, it's not what you do in church. It's what you do outside the church. What are you doing that is drawing people into God's kingdom? And what are you doing that is helping new believers to be discipled outside the church after the 2 hours Sunday service? My friend, even if you are to talk about tithing time, I'm not a very good mathematician, but if you think about the number of hours per week and to take 10%, it cannot be 2 hours. Do you agree with me? So attending church does not fulfill to be a tithe. You must look for time to be available to your family, to be available to your children, to be available to your workplace, but also to do ministry. And you must tell me what your ministry is. Don't also tell me that I tithe, I give money. Money has never brought anybody to Christ. Somebody must talk to them. Am I right? I've covered this in my book, The Christian Professional Leading the Marketplace. The importance of proclaiming God's word at home. So what am I saying? And I'm trying to finish. How is your quiet time? How is your quiet time? Is my next question. Number one, do you have a personal quiet time? Not with your wife, not with your children, you. You know, the family, what you call the family altar is always rated as the youngest child. Am I right? So the younger child can participate. That you can't call that your quiet time. That's a ministry. Quiet time means your wife can't hear you. Nobody hears you. It's just God and me. Remember, part of your problem may be your wife. You can't start praying in her presence. She'll stop your prayer. Am I right? So you need to look for a time, personal time, when it's not a family going, it's you and God on a daily basis. In my family, when we got married in 1979, after 3 months, I discovered I'm never praying. We are always praying together. We are both saved. We are in the CU together in Nairobi. We enjoy each other. But I realized I never pray. We are always praying together. And I say, this is not scriptural. So we agreed with my wife way back in 1979. We will have our prayer together. We didn't have children. We will have a prayer together in the evening. In the morning, one goes that room, I go the other room. You pray on your own. In the evening, you can tell me what you heard from God, and we can reach our family altar. So men, if you really want to be out there ministering to people, making impact on your family, you must set a time on a daily basis. It doesn't matter. Of course, if you have the time, you can go for 2 hours. But if you can only afford 10 minutes, put 10 minutes. If you are the one who can't wake up early, stay a little later in the evening. But you must put up time. If you have time of a lunch hour, you can stop eating and go to a place where nobody else is. But you must have time when nobody else is involved. It's only God and me. There's no other way you'll become a priest. Number two, you must have couple quiet time. What is couple quiet time? Your wife and you. The family that prays together stays together. So you need to look for more time when now you and your wife are reading the Bible together, hearing God's voice together. That's how you will be able to influence one another and have common theology that allows the family to last. And you can't take shortcuts. You and your wife must look for a time. If you can't do it daily, at least once a week, have a date with your wife. Not to discuss with nothings, but to talk to God and study His Word. Number three, you must have a family altar. Family altar means the children are now included. Because the children need to grow. But that family altar is tutored, not your wife and yourself, but especially to help the children. Next, please belong to a Bible study group where you and your neighbors study the Bible together. Some churches call it a cell group. But some cell groups are fellowships, not Bible study groups. So people just give their stories. You need a group that is going through the Bible, studying together. And next, I would like to encourage you to also look for a Christian couples group where several couples meet regularly. Regularly may mean once a month, regularly may mean once a quarter, but they meet together. Many churches look for couples of the same age group to put them together. And not more than 5, 6 couples. Go 6 couples means story of people who meet regularly to talk about marriage issues and then become accountability partners. All of this is helping you to be a priest. Are you getting it? I decided I would finish by emphasizing the things that can help you to be a better priest. And then finally, be involved in a group ministry. You are already doing ministry, get involved in others. Find a way of giving money to the ministry, but also getting involved in that ministry. My time is up.